Reading with the teacher, Set Our Children Free, Standard 8th. This lecture is in the video form as I wanted to bring forth to the students how to express different emotions of Kailash Satyarthi while he gave the speech in front of the Nobel Committee when he was invited to give the lecture. Set Our Children Free, Standard 8th, written by Kailash Satyarthi. This speech is a powerful argument made by the Nobel Peace Prize winner Kailash Satyarthi. It opens our eyes and draws our attention towards the piteous condition of some of our fellow human beings, here children. Your Majesties, Your Royal Majesties, Royal Highnesses, my dear daughter Malala, dear brother Tom Harkin, my sisters and brothers. Friends, the Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Respectfully, I am unable to do that because I am representing here the sound of silence, the cry of innocence, and the face of invisibility. I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair here as a reminder. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children because they are all our children. 20 years ago, in the foothills of Himalayas, I met a small, skinny child laborer. He asked me, "Is the world so small and so poor that it cannot give me a toy or a book instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" 12 years ago, a child mother from the streets of Colombia asked me this, "I have never had a dream. Can my child have one?" Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for our children. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." The Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty." Friends, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and the mosques and the churches and the prayer houses have no place for the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the world is so poor when just 1 week of global military expenditure, can bring all the children to classrooms. I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept. My only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child, free to grow and develop, free to eat, sleep and see daylight, free to laugh and cry, free to play and learn, free to go to school, and above all, free to dream. I have the privilege of working with my courageous people who have the same aim. We have never given up against any threat or attack, and we never will. We have made progress in the last couple of decades. But let us make no mistakes. Great challenges still remain. Friends, The biggest challenge or biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. Rights, security, and hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala. I have started calling her my daughter Malala, not just Malala. So, my daughter Malala and other daughters include Kainat, in fact, 2 Kainats and Shazia, and the daughters from Africa and from all over the world. They are rising up and choosing peace over violence, tolerance over extremism, and courage over fear. The solutions are emerging, but these solutions cannot be found in deliberations in conference alone and cannot be found in prescriptions from a distance. You may ask that, what can one person do? I would recall a story of my childhood. A heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away, including the lion, the king of the forest. Suddenly, he saw a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" To the lion's surprise, the bird replied, "I'm going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "Wow, can you do it by keeping just 1 drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant, and she said, "I'm doing my bit." Friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. But there is one serious disconnect, and that is lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform these individuals' compassion into a global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with children. I humbly add, let us unite the world through compassion for our children. I ask, whose children are they who stitch footballs, yet have never played with one? Whose children are they who harvest cocoa, yet have never tasted chocolates? Whose children are they who are dying of Ebola? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and held hostage? They are all our children. I remember an 8-year-old girl who was rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. When she was sitting in my car right after her rescue, she asked me, "Why did you not come earlier?" Her angry question still shakes me and has the power to shake the whole world. Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. We need collective action with a sense of urgency. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters. Therefore, I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge this culture of silence and this culture of passivity, this culture of neutrality. We must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a cobbler boy my age, sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked my teachers, Why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? My teachers had no answer. One day, I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work." His answer made me angry. It still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision for tomorrow. A vision that cobbler boy sitting with me in my classroom. Now that tomorrow has become today. I am today and you are today. Today, it is the time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children in the blinking stars. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree and mountain, I see our children growing freely with dignity. Friends, I want you to see and feel this today inside you. Today, I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Martin Luther Kings, and Nelson Mandelas calling on us. Let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. I call upon you in this room and people all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity. A march from slavery to liberty, and a march from violence to peace. Asto ma satgamaya, tamso ma jyotirgamaya, mratyom ma amratam gamaya. Let us march from ignorance to awakening. Let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from mortality to divinity. Thank you. Students, this series, Reading with the Teacher, is an attempt to reach out to all those students who are unable to join schools right now due to the pandemic session. So I would request everyone to spread this with your friends whom you know, and ask them to share it with their friends as well. Have a good day. Bye-bye.